Hi everyone, Emma here. I have the tutorial for the lips to go with our Halloween bracelet, which is peyote with a toggle clasp built in. So yeah, let's get right into this. I apologize for the delay. The design I originally had was odd count, and I tried to do it even count, but it really didn't work because you have to decrease along here and here as well as along here and here. So at points it ends up being odd count. So the idea was to have less thread going up and through and around to come back down in the correct direction. So what I did do to simplify it, because I did realize how complicated this was, let me just get the camera settled down here. So what I did do was I got rid of the two color reds. And I'll tell you, let's enlarge this. So this one is done with all red, at like the one tone red. This one is done with the two tone red. Depending on your red, once you attach it to your bracelet, you really can't see the difference. Let me see if I have one completed. I do. So I have one completed here. You might be able to see off of the bracelet the difference in the colors. You can slightly see the difference in the color. It's not enough to make a difference. So the other thing I want to point out is, if you notice, this one here is a little more rounded and rounded at the bottom compared to this one. Now, I have written out kind of the colors and how many beads you need for each row. At the bottom, I wrote these two rows you can skip if you want it to look more rounded. So that's these at the bottom, the tip here, adding the extra two, it would bring it down to a little more rounded like this one here. And then the same for the top, just ignore that top bead on either side of the lips, and I wrote that in the notes. So let's get started because this is fun. And I don't want it to take too long. I do want to say that this is a design for somebody who is a little more experienced in peyote, and somebody who is willing to take a chance and try something out and work through it, because there's a lot of decreasing. So, and you get just enough difference in the color that you have to line these guys up, otherwise they look silly. I have some, like this one here was my first one. You can see the teeth are all funny. And then the one I did, this was probably my 10th one that I did, and I forgot to put the bottom part of the teeth. So there's that. So I'm using 11-0 delicate beads, and this one is cranberry red dyed. And then I'm using, so you can use any type of, this is the treasures, number 1. The treasures are slightly bigger than the delicas, as far as I can tell, but you can see it doesn't make a huge difference, although in the teeth, when you start getting close, you can see the bottom row starts to separate a bit. That's because these are too big, but it looks great. So this one is metallic hematite. I didn't have any black that fit, and I would even suggest using like a dark blue or something like that. And then the white is opaque frosted white. That was the only white I had available. So let me talk about this design here. You also need your thread, and I'm using 9mm thread, and I have my wax, so I wax my thread, is very important. And you need a size, I've got a size 10 needle, I think, and a stop bead, your scissors, and that should do it. So let me enlarge this again, and the reason being I'm going to enlarge it and leave it on the screen without my hands in the way so that you can do a screenshot. I'll tell you, I was hoping to do a little more, sorry, a little fancier than this. And I still may do it where it's printed up, and also to do the image on the graph paper to show you. I find I work better from the image on the graph paper, but I'll tell you, this goes a lot faster doing it, following each row. So I didn't put any instructions about decrease here, do that. It's kind of self-explanatory when you see it goes from 10 beads to 9 beads to 8 beads to 7 beads to 5 beads and to 2 beads. So that would indicate that there's a decrease. Now you can pair this with the video. So let's put that aside, although I will follow that. Let me see, where's the best place to put this so I can see it. So I have my needle, and I've already put my stop bead on. And I just took a arm's width, but you really don't need that much for this design. So let's put a few of these out. We just need 10, I think, of these white ones. And probably about 10 of the black. It's probably not even that many. I did find these, it's interesting, these opaque treasures are thin, but the these ones here, and maybe it's because it has more finish on it, that they're thicker. And then we need a few of these guys. Let's put these here. That's probably plenty. And you can make these into earrings. There is a technique, and this one here was done. Let's enlarge this. This one here was done as an earring. So you can see there's a hole there. And basically when you do that row, so it would be the second from the top where this part ends, is so you're at this point here, you take this bead and you go underneath. So then when you come back, you go up and top and skip, and then you add it at the top. So anyway, if you're interested in that, I can do a tutorial on that. I have another a skull, Halloween skull earring design, so we can do that one, and I'll show you how to put the hole in there. So let's go ahead. So we're going to pick up 4. So I do have the legend on here, just to let you know. So the A represents red, X black, O white. So this first row is your first 2 rows. Now what I've done is I've taken, when I do these kind of things, I take the widest point from here to here, and I use that as the beginning point and then decrease from there. Otherwise, if you start at the bottom, you're going to start with a couple of beads and you're going to have to add, and the problem is like holding on to it, and it's very finicky and stuff. If you start at the top and then start adding it, I find it's a little easier. So we're going to go 4 red, that's 5, 4 red, a black, a white, move these over a bit, it's kind of a bit awkward for my hand, a white, and then 7 of these reds, and I always double check it when you're doing peyote. Let's enlarge that. So that's 7, then 1 white. Oh, you know what? Let me check here. I think there should be a red in between this one. So let's move these off. I made a mistake in my design, but I added it, but it's teeny tiny. So again, I want to redo this for you guys, the written portion of it. Okay, then a white, a red, a black, and then 4 reds. So that is your first 2 rows, and I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, so you can kind of see it's even in a sense. So you have 4 red, 1 black, 1 red, 1 white, then 7 red, 1 white, 1 red, 1 black, and 4 red. So you bring that all the way down to your stop bead. And now we're going to go to the second row. So well, it's actually the third row is all red. So that's 10 red. So we're just going to pick up 1, and we're going to skip this first one, and we're going to go down the second one. That. Then you can flip your work the other way if it's easier for you. I just find this is easy for me because I have something to hang on to. So there's your first. That looks kind of blurry. There, that's better. Keep going, pick up another red. We're coming out of this one, and we're going to skip that one. We're going to go into the next one. I'm going to try not to twist on the thread inside the bead. And I'll tell you, like I did a bunch of these, and there was a few that were so twisted on the cord or the thread that it flipped my work. And these beads are supposed to be on one side. These were on one side and the bottom ones were on the other side. It was a nightmare. And I tried to correct it. So I'm just looking at this. This one needs to go next to the other one. Pull that tighter. There, like that. It's a very small, I apologize. This is what happens when you're working with such a small project. So keep grabbing the red, and we're just going to keep going down. Skip one, go through the next one. So you see how it's kind of flipped. So I'm just going to make sure I'm working on the one side. So this is why I was saying at the beginning, this is maybe a bit of a project for somebody who either has more patience or like I don't like to say that it's not the greatest project for a beginner, because I'm a beginner. And the way I look at it is you could do anything. If you can break things down into little steps, you can do it. So keep going here. So we haven't bought our Halloween stuff yet. It's kind of creeping up. No pun intended. You know, I thought I was ahead of the game with my Halloween bracelet design, and I think when I first started working on designs, because I actually have a couple others to show you, but we'll do that in another video. But yeah, and I think my wife was concerned about having treats in the house because she's working really hard on getting fit again, and So she's like, oh, we'll just buy them the last week before Halloween. So I told her today, I said, you know, Halloween is the beginning of next week. She's like, oh my gosh. So she has to go grocery shopping. That's her chore. So we're almost at the end of this. Once we have this third row on, it will be easier to hang on to. You'll be able to see it better. And if your work curls like that, no big deal. When we get to the end, I'll just straighten it. There's no point doing it now because it'll get back to the same spot. I'm getting super excited about doing herringbone. I showed you guys a video of some projects that I worked on and that I was going to do a series for herringbone, and you know, just with all the free shipping Tuesday giveaways and the other stuff, I haven't had a chance. And in the meantime, like, if I'm not, I have to make stuff every day, otherwise I go nuts. So I'm always searching for new projects, and I found a video, and I can't remember her name, but I'll when I do the video, I'll put the link and her name and stuff. But she shows you how to do. So this is the final one. So I should show you this because it is a little different than the rest of this. Let's make sure these guys are all facing. So you see how easily this could get twisted. And because we're doing a top and a bottom, we really have to make sure that is turned the correct way. So just kind of maneuver it with your hands. That goes there. I think our stop bead got a little loose. Make sure that gets in there. Let's see if I can get this straightened out here. So this bead here needs to go next to the other. So this is the other thing that I find it makes it a little more complicated for people starting out. Not sure why it doesn't want to go next to it there. There. Okay. So then those go there. So now our thread is coming out of this bead here, and we want it to sit next to this one. So what you do is you come in through the bottom of that bead like that, and that will set it in place. Oh, that's my thread that's okay, and just coax it into place if it's not behaving. There we go. So now what we want to do is we need to bring our thread back. Wow, this is really hard to do. I have a camera in front of my face, so I can't see it half the time. Okay, so this is what it should look like. Okay, so that's the bottom part of the lip. So we'll just hang on to it sideways, and let me see if I can tighten this. There. Okay, so the thread's coming out of here, but we need the thread to go down to do this next row. So that's the part I was trying to get it to do, like a even count, because if you have an even count, you always end up in the right place. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to go through these two on an angle like this. Turn it around. Just make sure we don't get hooked there. There. Now we're gonna skip over like sideways here to this one here, and we're going to go up through these two beads, and that will put us in position to go back around. Tighten this again. Got it loose. There. Okay, so now the next row. So you can see here, there's your thread here. It's coming out of this bead. We're going to go into this bead here. And we're ready for our next row. Wowzer. Right. There we go. This will straighten out in a second here. Okay, so it's all red for the top for the next couple of rows. So now we have 9 like that. And this part's easier because now you're just putting a bead in between the sticking out beads. So you come out of this hole, you're going to go, I feel like this is so small for you guys to see. Let me know if it is. You know, I did do another video of this, and I still have it, but I found it just was, I didn't know, it felt like it was too messy. So let me know if this is hard to see, if it needs to be redone. Just coming out of here, you're going to go into this one. Got your bead on there, so it completes it. Let's go ahead. And keep going. So yeah, I was talking about the video about herringbone. So this design was for, oh, what do they call it? I want to say round herringbone. I don't think that's right. But you do, instead of doing like flat herringbone, you can do 2 ladders or 3 ladders or even more, but they're all attached. And there's like a spiral one, and so I did the first one with just 2 using 8/0 beads. It looks incredible. It's so good that I went looking for the beads that I used, and it just so happened it was beads that I got from Jill Wiseman's garage sale, so I have no clue. I might be able to get some from her, but I have not seen these beads. They're like a frosted turquoise teal kind of color. Oh my gosh, they're gorgeous. And I put it with gold. It looks incredible. So now we need, so here is an automatic decrease. You see there's this here and this here. So this is going to be like one side. So now what we want to be able to do is have our thread come through the top of that bead so we can put a bead in here. So to do that, we have to turn around our thread again. So let's go through these 2 here. I think I'm going to go through the 3rd one on the angle. So yeah, so there's, go through those 3, pull down, then slide over to the bead next to it. Let's see if I can do this so you can still see. And then go through the one above it as well. And if your thread shows a bit, just roll the beads between your fingers. the thread will move to the back, so you won't see it, but you can't see it. Okay, so now we're coming out of this bead right here. So let's go up this one. So that's why the other video I didn't release it, because I was thinking there's so much of this turning around, and I thought that would be so frustrating. But it may be better than for whatever reason tonight I feel like it's just a bit too small on the camera. I don't know. You know what? I might have my camera in a different position. Okay, so this is now row 8, I believe, or row, sorry, I'm looking at 8 beads. It's row 4, so 9 beads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, so this is row 4. So we can flip this over this way. Hang on to it and see if we can do this a little quicker. Like that. So you see how this starts to give you your decrease without actually decreasing. So that's the other part, the reason why I do it separate top and bottom. So let me know if you have any really cool designs that you've done or seen. I'm really interested. I'm starting to have a harder time finding designs that are unusual or harder to do. Now, I think what I need to start doing is go through channels like Stephanie. I think I skipped one there. Yeah, go through Bronze Pony's channel and get, let's see if we can flip that, get some design ideas and see what she's got, because she's got a bunch of tutorials on the herringbone and stuff like that. We went to the gym today. This is so funny. The right across the street now. I went through my thread and let me show you that. So this is another argument for waxing your thread. It keeps the fibers together, but unfortunately the needles are really sharp, so they still go through it. So I don't know if you can really see that, but it went through my thread. So what happens when I go to put that bead in place, I can't get it to sit because the thread's in the way. So you can either take your thread off your needle, or you could be stubborn like me and try and find the split in the thread and see if that works. And it didn't. Look at that. Let me see if I can get this. Oh, this might be just twisted. Oh, it's still in there. Looks like it's just one fiber. It was. Thank goodness. Okay, let's go into the next one here. So yeah, we're coming out of the gym, and my wife says, I've got to go to my drug pusher to get my drugs. I'm like, what are you talking about? She goes, the pharmacy to pick up my drugs. I was like, oh my gosh, Jen, we are old ladies. You know that's an old lady thing to say. She's like, well, it's true. I'm like, yes, I know it's true, but we just hit a milestone here. We're old ladies. So there. So now we're going to go to row 5, which is 8 beads. So again, we need our needle, our thread, coming down through this third one here, sticking out and coming down. So we are going to go through around here. I'm going to try and go through 3 at the top. And watch that guy doesn't get hooked. And then we should be able to go to the next bead beside the one we're coming out of. That. And then we're going to go over to these 2 and up. There. So in this one, I don't know if you can see it too much, but you can see a bit of the thread there. So like I said, just take your beads and roll them between your fingers, and the thread will go to the middle where you can't see it. So now we're at the top. We're going to go through these 3 beads here, and then we're ready to add our next row. So now I'm just going to flip it over and then keep working it so that it's not all twisted, but I am trying to keep some sort of tension on it. So let's get these guys in there. And the next one. I think it's hard to see too because it's all a dark color. Oops. So today was my first day back in the gym since my breast lumpectomy and radiation. And I was worried that I wouldn't be able to do a proper workout. Now, when I start a new time in the gym, I always reduce the amount of repetitions that I do for the weights, because I do weight training in the gym. So I did 20 reps instead of 30, but I was able to run on the treadmill for 25 minutes at a good pace, so that's really good. So this is our final row of just doing straight. Now we're going to start to decrease in the middle. So let's bring our thread again back to this sticking out bead here. So let's go down 3 here like this. Go over 1. Actually, I might go up 2 like this, and then go over to the one next to it, come up through the top, and then come back down all of those beads till you get to the row where you want to start adding beads again. Let's flip it around. So that's what you have so far. Flip it around. It probably didn't need that big a thread. Okay, that's really kind of bendy. So for the next row, we're going to do 3 red, and then we're going to skip through the middle. So I'll show you what I mean by that. So there's 1, 2, 3. Okay. And you're going to 1, 2, 3. So we're going to skip this next slot here. So to do that, your thread's coming out of this bead, you're going to go to the bottom, below it, like that. And come up through this one here. And then continue with your 3. There. One there. Just going to go up one here. So I think I'll try and turn around and avoid the ends, because I'm trying to avoid getting so much thread at the end piece. So let's go over to the next one. And down one. Now we're going to go over to the one beside it and then up on an angle, like that. And there's a bit of wax from my thread, but that usually melts with your body heat from your hands. So now you're going to go to the next one over and then to the next bead that we're going to add to. That's like the sticking out bead here. So this is where we're at. I'm trying to show you there so you can see all the... Okay, so this is kind of the decrease that we did. Then these are the little slots we have to fill in. And then this is the area in the middle of the lips, that dip that we went under, and then up here. So now we are at row 8. We are going to do, so this is where I was saying at this point here, you could end the top at this level for the lips. Let me see. So this one I went a little rounder, so we are going to fill in the 2. But this one I filled in right up into the tip, which gave it really pointy look. It's up to you what you like. So let me flip this so you can see. There's one there. And one there. Just like that. Okay, so now we need to get to these 2. So you're going to do the same technique that we did in this middle bead. So we're going to go through this bead, through that one, up through that one, come out of that one. So you can usually do it in 2 steps. But if you can't, just take your time and do one at a time. And then up through here, like that. And then fill those guys in. So there's 1 and 2. And I'm going to the end because we're going to start on this side here. Oh, there we go. So there is the top. Simple. Simple, not so simple. And I'm just gonna, you can tell my tension got a little tighter there, so just kind of maneuver it with your hands. Okay, so all you have to do for this one is get ready to go through and add the next row. So let me see what I have on the bottom. So now I need 2 reds. So we'll start with 1. And 2. Then we need a white. This white one here is going to be the kind of outside line of the tooth. So we need another white one next to it. Like that. There. I think I need to extend my thread. I find that when my thread gets tangled, it's because I've got too much on the end. It starts to tangle. Okay. So the next one should be a black, if I'm right. 2 blacks. Let me see what it says. 1 black, 1 white, 2 black. And it's asking for a white. That row is not correct. I must have missed something in there. Some A's. Okay, so let's do a black. So just be aware, row 1 on the bottom is incorrect. So I definitely will redo that sheet for you guys because it's kind of too bad that I've been working on it. It's not like I'm not it's not like I'm not doing the work. It's just okay. So I'm trying to decide where to. So I think yeah, we should put all the blacks in there. Oh, you know what? It should be a red. Oh, you know what it is? It's upside down too. Now that I'm looking at this. Okay. So we're at the second line, so we're here. So yeah, it should be 2 blacks, a red and 2 blacks. So there is a line missing on my chart. Red, black, another black, a red, a white. So the bottom part I find a little easier because you can actually just eyeball it because you go off of the other colors that are there. But I mean, easier said than done on my part, I guess. Okay. So now let's going to turn around our thread. I'll have to do it in 2 steps here. And go over to this one. Like that. I think I'm gonna, seems like there's missing one here. I wonder if this one was, let's just go straight to the sticking out. You're gonna bring your needle to the next sticking out bead like that. But I feel like there should be something here. You know what? I am gonna add one there because that doesn't look right to me. I don't know if it got missed. There, that's a wee bit better. Okay, so now we're at the black, so definitely a red goes under there. The black is just kind of the opening of the mouth. It represents it. So, and you know that you're going to need a white for the tooth. So you can determine which way you want your fangs to go. And you ask, what do you mean, Emma? So if you look at this, you can have your fangs go from the inside, or you can make the 3 on the outside. So it just depends how you want to do that. So just think about that when you're doing. So now we need black in through here. Let me flip this and go quickly through this. That. Pick up another black. So I am going to do some of these for Christmas themes. So, so be prepared. I am definitely going to work on my camera skills for this. I just feel this is not the best way to learn, even though all the information's here. It's very awkward. Ta-da. Okay, so now let's turn our thread around again. Let me see if I can get in here. There's like multiple paths you can take. So whatever works for you. Go over to the next one. Like that. And then down these two. There. So now we need a red. I'm going to flip this, just make it quicker. So we're at the teeth. So one white. One black to finish off the mouth opening. So now we're going to put red in here. And another red. That. Oh, did I cross through my thread? I did. So you can see, I mean, it doesn't take much to get through your thread. can expose that hole there. There, that should do it. There. And a black, the last black that we need. And then a white. I think we're, this looks a bit weird. That was where I added that red one. Let me, so now turn around again. That does not want to go through. And that's what I mean. It starts to get sticky on the ends because you've got so much thread in there. Let's go up and around through this one. And down. Ouch. It bit me. It bit me, Mommy. Okay. Go through here. And just spin them a bit. And there you go. So let me turn this upside down here. So I left a long tail because I was going to use it to do the bottom, but I actually had enough. So that just shows you how little thread you need for this. So we'll pick up a red. And you know, there must have been a bead missing here because this is now in the right spot. So we have to turn around because we should be coming into this bead, and I just added that bead. So let me, we're almost done. Hang in there with me. Once this is done, and I apologize, I don't mean to rush through the fun Halloween stuff, but I've made so many of these and it still doesn't come any easier. So I'm going to go up one more. But yeah, we're going to do some more interesting stuff. I also have been working on my memorial piece for Kath. It's looking amazing, but you know what? I couldn't do it on video. It's so intricate. There's just no way. So I want to show you that. Okay, so now this is what we have, 2 on each side here and 2 on each side here for the white teeth. So now is where you need to decide. You want to have the fangs on the outside or on the inside. So I think we should try the outside this time. So now that means that's it for this row here. We need some red. So put a red one there. and the rest is all red. Keep going. That. So I apologize, this doesn't feel like very much of an instruction. Just me. Put beads on. But it's hard to do anything else because it is a little complex. Okay, so that's that row there. So that's what we have so far. It's almost done. It almost looks like a face now. Okay, I'm gonna go up a few and turn around. Go. This was, like I said, this was the part in the video, the other video that I found. Just, it kind of took away from the fun of it for the video anyway. I mean, when I'm doing it, I don't mind doing it, but I don't know if you guys are, like, it's really hard to demonstrate how to turn around your thread when you're working on such a tiny piece. And there is a way that you can hook it onto your thread here and then go back down. But I find it leaves too much thread at the top. So, okay, so let's flip this. So now we're going to add the final part to our teeth. Like that. So there's the fangs on the outside. I was going to add some more white. Okay, the rest is red. Simple. Yeah, because you're doing turns on such a small piece that you do almost as many turns as you do beading. Like that. And then a white. Go up a few, turn around. So you can see too, it starts to, because of this decrease, they start to turn on an angle. So just kind of push it back into the right spot. Let's go down here. There. And I'm just going to go up again. It seems like the simplest path. Oops. Thread got tangled here. Okay, so now we're going to go down this one and all the others. Like that. And you see it's off to the side. Let's move those. So let's flip it and add our red. Hi, honey. We have a visitor.
Do you need masking tape?
Masking. What do you need? I have painter's tape on my easel.
Yeah, I'm doing tech support on these hard drives.
Okay, so we're gonna turn around. We're just gonna finish this piece off. So this came out different, and I don't understand. This is like the 20th time I've done this. They seem to come out different every time. So where I went wrong. Okay, So it's not that I did it any different. The teeth on the outside end up being on the outside of the lips. So just so you know. So if I were to switch the teeth to have the long one on the outside, it would be on the outside of the lips. So that's why it turned out that way. Whew. It's like, oh my god, what did I do wrong? So I'm just gonna turn around, have a drinking game. How many times Emma says turn around? That. And then over there. Flip this and add our beads. Like that. Okay, so this, there should be 3 slots left, which we'll do. And then after that, that's where you start to get this pointy section where you could put 2 beads. Like that. So let's turn this guy around. I'm going to try a sneaky way here. Go up instead of down, and then come around. All the way through those guys. Flip this over and add my final 3. We'll see what it looks like with the final 3. If it needs more, we'll add more. And look, see, that's how easy it is to go through your thread. So sometimes I'll hold the thread away from my beadwork. So I think we should leave it at that. I don't think it needs the extra 2. But when I look at it, I think we should have kept the fangs on the other side. But whatever. So I'm just gonna get this through to the end and just get your, like, instead of, you can weave your thread through it to tie it off, but because we're going to add this to the bracelet, I am going to leave the threads because I'm going to use them to attach it to the bracelet. Let me just get through these and I'll show you what I mean. I'm just gonna, so there is what we made. So I don't know, it's up to you if that looks unfinished without the added, but I mean, it totally changes the look when you see how pointy it is to rounded. So then you take your peyote bracelet and find the midpoint, and then just go ahead and take your threads. So this one, I added the thread down in the top through the peaks here and through the base. So you just go up and down threads just as if you were sewing through peyote, and attach it, and then weave your thread through. You're done. So there you go. Let me know what you think. I you know, this was a really cute idea, but I'm kind of surprised at how I feel like it just doesn't translate on camera. Um, so I apologize for that. I made a bunch of these trying to work out a pattern that would work for you guys. And it just, that was the other thing. I wanted to have a design that you can just take the photograph or the screenshot. And this one, the black ones were too, the black beads were too big. It's from a different, I think it looks better with the dark black, but so these are just a few of this one here. Let me see. There was something wrong with this one. The teeth are going the same way. I don't know if you notice. So there's two on this side, two on that side, when it should have been opposite. Little things like that. It's like, ugh. You see, I think there's more. Well, there's like 3 or 4 that I just didn't finish. It was just not working out. So there you go. Looks crazy. I should put a whole bunch on a bracelet. Anyway, yeah, we'll do some more stuff that's a little more I don't know, that everybody will enjoy, and hopefully the herringbone is gonna be fun. And I'm looking forward to working with some pearls, with all the pearls that I got. It's time to start really getting into them. I have some pretty amazing designs. So take care, everybody, and happy Halloween. I will definitely be talking to you before then. And maybe we'll see Rupert the pig dressed up for Halloween. If he does, I'll definitely get a video of that for you guys. Take care, everybody. Bye.